See?
I should have reminded you, so I'll take the blame for that.
Yes, that's my ginger falling down on his job.
He's the ginger behind the man, remember?
I promise the show's going to be good. It's actually going to be great because Deana's on the show.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. Not because of me. I just had to get my post out there. Hey, are you guys following me on Instagram? Go to BobMortgage. You'd see my awesome, cool image about owning a home. And what does home is more than 4 walls, right? And a roof.
Absolutely.
What does it really mean to you guys? I want to hear. I want to hear what owning a home really means to you guys, or what home is to you. Is it just 4 walls and a roof? Hopefully you can hear the song. Otherwise,
Bob's gonna bust out the disco move.
You don't know what's going on. It's like, okay, what's Deana doing? Bob's over here dancing. Hey,
it's going to be an entertaining show.
Really quick, we do have a big shout out this morning.
We do. We do.
Huge shout out because he may be watching.
We hope so.
We hope so. Scott, happy birthday, brother. Big birthday for you. What is he, like 38?
Yeah, he wishes.
Happy birthday, Scott. Hope you have.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Hope you have an amazing day, man. By the way, Scott, if you don't know, for everybody, because we had a lot of different cameras going on, her hubby.
Yes. Longtime friend of Bob's.
Yeah, we've been, man, we're going to go back a ways because, we have all kinds of guests on the show. And, we come to meet them at different points in our life. A lot of it has been just because of real estate. But I'm gonna tell you, today's guest was well before real estate.
Way before BobMortgage.
This was way before BobMortgage. Even. This was 20 plus years ago. We met in
our 20s. So if y'all want like the gory details, reach out to me.
I think I'm worse now than what I was then, to be honest with you. I think you got you got the old structured, suit and tie Bob that was trying to be somebody back in the day.
You've always been somebody.
Well, I was really trying hard in my 20s. Now,
weren't we all?
Now at 48, I really don't. I don't care. I'm just doing what I do, and I think
I'm doing it well.
I wish I would have done that in my 20s.
Right.
Right.
We didn't know.
Alexa, off. I really wanted to keep kind of playing it upside down.
So you could do some
and turn it around and moves. Hey guys, this is the 73rd episode of the BobMortgage Jam Session, and Deana Woods stops by. What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Woo!
Love having you on the show. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, again, I was telling you, kind of going down this path, all kinds of people come on the show. It's always to highlight our partners, and I'll be honest with you, Deana's one of our best partners out there from a real estate side, but more importantly, she's just one hell of a friend to Jennifer and I. And it started a long time ago. Maybe you can give some of the details. You probably have a better memory than me.
I don't
Don't
know.
give all the details. But a long time ago, and it's as with a lot of friendships, there's seasons in the lives that we all have, right? And we had a really strong season, and then we all had our lives and kids and things going on, and then all of a sudden we reconnected, and I think it's just been a blessing probably for both of us that
absolutely
that we've kind of gotten back together, and not just from a business standpoint. I mean, I just think that's
a nice bonus.
Yeah, that's the nice bonus, but overall it just has been a nice add for Jennifer and I to have you and Scott back in our lives.
Too.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
So what's going on with you?
Working.
Yeah?
Working.
Working hard?
Yeah, very.
So Deana does real estate, by the way, if you didn't know that. All city real estate, right?
That is exactly it.
Yeah. So how long have you been in real estate?
So I've been in real estate now for going on 4 years. So not a long time, but loving it.
Yeah, but you know what? You've come in with a lot of understanding of real estate, the importance of it. You and Scott have been around it for a long time. I think that along with just you have just a desire to help people, and you really do care about that individual and really understand what they're needing and wanting, the questions that you ask. I mean, you go deep with your clients, and I think that really has put you in a different place, even with only 4 years compared to the people that have 22. They may rest a little bit on their experience, where you can really just be very intentional with your people because of your worldly experience, and ultimately show them how you work, how hard you work, and then ultimately what that means for them, and they end up choosing you because you do some amazing work out there.
Thank you. Well, in my background, which a lot of people don't know, and I found one of my good friends didn't even know this yesterday, is I had about 10 years hospice experience before I came into real estate.
Yep.
So I spent a long time serving a lot of different families and really working with them on that level. So it's kind of nice just to translate that work with families into a happy time.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel like that has helped real estate for you? Because I mean, that's a difficult time for people in that transition.
It is.
Right? And so I got to believe you got to really understand people and the emotions that go into life and just the experiences that they're coming in and out of, and then how to transition them. I mean,
hope so, yeah.
Like how did that
I think you have to be
help?
really, you have to be very compassionate with people during that time
Yeah.
and really work with them where they're at and listen to their needs and their wants and their desires at that time of life. And just being able, I mean, real estate's really similar. It's just, same thing. You've got to really listen to your people and what they want and what they need and meet them where they're at on that journey. And it's really been a good transition.
Yeah.
It's really been a good transition.
Did you ever think you'd be actually doing real estate though? I mean, like,
I really
how did you get in? How did you leave the hospice sector and then get into real estate, and why real estate?
Exactly. Well, and every realtor out there watching this will laugh because I was hoping to get a little bit more flexibility in my life. LOL. So now I work twice as much, but my parents were getting older, my children are getting older, so I really wanted something that would give me the flexibility to be with my family when I needed to be.
Yeah.
I literally do work probably twice as much now as I did then, but it's nice to be able to schedule my work life around my family life because that's important.
Yeah, we do end up working more being in this industry than most. And the reason why some people get into the industry is they think that they will work less.
No.
And well, here's the thing: some can, but those are categorized as like part-timers.
Right.
Right, and they're part-timers.
Right.
I mean, so they choose to do that. But those that want to be true professionals in this real estate game, you have to work nonstop. I mean, we work 7 days a week, but it does still provide us the flexibility if we want to take some time here and there or be intentional with family and stuff like that we can. We just may lose opportunity.
Exactly.
Or things like that. I mean, that is part of being an entrepreneur, being in this real estate game.
Right. Well, and a shout out to Bob going along with that. One of the things that really, we do work weird hours and we do work long hours. Bob's taking my phone calls at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, Saturday, Sunday.
Well,
so yes,
thankfully
there's
it's not all the
flexibility,
time.
but weird hours.
Yeah, but you know what the cool thing is? It's only a quick 5-minute, quick 2-minute,
Right.
type conversation or text or exchange
Usually.
to be able to get it done. And usually I also know, and guys, this is something to understand when you're working with professionals, right? When you work with Deana, if we're at that high level type conversation and it is at night, we know that there is a need that could directly impact your life. And that's why we do what we do.
Yes.
Okay. The money can be nice. Absolutely. When you actually break it down, sometimes the hourly wage ends up being pretty low.
5 cents an hour.
Right. But it looks good. But we know that 10 o'clock call or that text exchange at midnight has a direct impact on your life, which ultimately is why we do what we do.
Yes.
And you guys know this if you follow me at all. There's no balance in work life when you're in real estate and mortgage. It's just really all about harmony. And we have to accept that, it is harmony because we live in both all at the same time. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've done it, you know what it's like. I mean, you got kids and the band and all these types of things. And I mean, they're there and you're being present with them. But then you also possibly have to be present with a client that's right there or somebody that needs something, and you can deflect and then be right back to taking care of them.
Right, you do, and thank goodness my family is very understanding. But it's nice that they go hand in hand. It is nice that you can work from anywhere, step out for 5 minutes, handle work, and then go back to a game,
Yeah.
whatever's going on.
Did
So
you
it's
get
good.
any type of discouragement, coming out of, hospice, getting into real estate? Was there anybody that was like, or you don't have to give me names, but did you get that? And then what did you do to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do? What kind of mindset did you have to be in? Did you get any discouragement from people?
I really didn't. My family was really supportive. I've always
Okay.
been in sales, so I don't think they were super surprised. I think it was more a mentor we had when I very first started was
Okay.
very realistic, and I appreciated that because I think a lot of people do come into real estate thinking, oh, it's easy and it's glamorous and it's HGTV. Well, it's none of the above.
Right.
But it set me on a very realistic path of what this was going to be like and how much work and how much time I was going to have to put in. So it's been good. It's been it's been better than I expected.
Better than you expected.
Yeah.
What would you say, I guess, when you look at like skill sets, like, because there are agents that watch, and what's important for me is to draw out some things that can maybe also help our audience. But what do you feel you relied on the most, or even developed to be really great at what you're doing, skill-wise?
Well, it's not rocket science. But there is a big divide between good agents and bad agents, and good mortgage lenders and bad mortgage lenders. What I have taken from my past experience that's helped me in this the most, and it's across the board, and anybody that works in this industry, is communication.
Yeah.
That's it. I think as long as you communicate really well, stay in touch with your clients, and don't be afraid to communicate things that they may not want to hear. But just communication really is key.
I'll even go one step further with that. And I agree, communication is essential. And I've met with, guys, thousands of people, and it's always the same thing. Even in the agent world, it's, why are you here? Well, my lender doesn't communicate. So communication can be looked at a couple different ways. We can say the same thing, but it's in the delivery.
Yes.
Right? That's a part of communication.
Yes.
It's the delivery of the message. Because if two people are saying the exact same thing, sometimes they hear it differently, right? It could be delivered differently, and the message is received differently, where one can then understand how the client likes to be communicated to, and you can then kind of get on the same side of that table with them. And
It's like telephone, the game telephone.
that was
Where you
before.
tell-
I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
I get
You're
it.
old.
Yeah,
You know, you
I
tell
know.
somebody-
You tell somebody, you go around the
Right.
table, and it ends up being the
No, you
different
do,
story.
but you have to
100%.
sometimes adjust the delivery.
The delivery of that. And the second part of it is, guys, is communication can be a pathway to bankruptcy if you don't understand this part of it, proactive communication. So if you just want to communicate to somebody, that's just like providing customer satisfaction. I think it's just kind of like the standard. I mean, you have to communicate in any business, in any relationship. You have to be a good communicator. And if you're not, it's not gonna work, right? I mean, it is a bankruptcy. Proactive communication just means that you're anticipating people's needs, their responses. You're seeing around corners before you ever get there, so that you can properly communicate to your partner, to your spouse, to your client, what it is that you're seeing, and answer questions before they ever get asked, right? That, I think, then is where you're able to move the needle enough in somebody's life through communication to where they say, wow, that was awesome. I really appreciate that. And when you can move the needle enough, then you've converted them from a satisfied client to what we call raving fans.
Right.
Right? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of where my mind has had to go with communication, only because I hear it so much. That's what people are striving for.
It's the number one issue,
Yeah.
I think.
And so if that's where the baseline is, then I want to be up here.
Right.
And I want to try to answer questions before people ask it. It's a challenge. I mean, it really is.
It
But,
is.
Yeah.
But I think you've got a really great system for communication, even not just with individual clients, but with agents as well. It's oftentimes we have to track down somebody and find out what's going on in the process, where we're at in the procedures,
Not with us,
documents.
not with us.
Not with Bob. But just the email that comes out once a week,
Oh, yeah.
or twice a week,
Yeah, Tuesday,
with,
Thursdays, yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
with updates on every client, where they're at, the last touch they'd had from y'all. It's just that makes a big difference in
Appreciate that.
proactive communication.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just listening, right? So it's not like something I dreamed up. It's like, oh, hey, let's do this without ever asking. I mean, I listened to my partners, my audience. They were telling me what they liked, and then we just did plus 1%, right?
Right.
People call it 10x or plus one, whatever you want to call it. I just did more than what they asked for, right? So they were looking and needing and asking for something, and I'm like, wow, you know what? We have amazing technology. I use Salesforce as my CRM and plug and plays, and I can do so much with this. Why can't we deliver a plus one to them where they say, wow, this is awesome. I get all this piece of communication.
It makes a big difference.
So, I think that, from a and this can work in any industry, guys. I think with real estate, you have to have probably a lot of energy, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
It's. I mean, you guys are right. I mean,
You have lots of energy, Bob. No, but you do. I mean, you got to be upbeat.
you got to be upbeat because I mean, it can beat you down if you don't, right?
Yes.
You got to bring the energy and probably enthusiasm, right? Because when there are those clients, there are those partners that can grind on you a bit, and yeah, and I think
Sometimes.
I think that we have to bring that energy and enthusiasm to our workplace, our work day, every day. Otherwise, you could wake up and just with the sheer volume of clients that, unfortunately, guys, you may be trying to shop 12 lenders or shop 12 agents, and it kind of does get to be a beatdown on us if that's what we're dealing with all the
Right.
time with clients. And the only way I know how to overcome it is just bring a high level of energy and a lot of enthusiasm, and then you're going to be attracted to this. And that's what can help set us apart. And ultimately, we know we have to perform. You have to perform in your buyer consultation meetings and our quotes that we put out. But ultimately, what gets us the opportunity, I think, is probably the energy and the enthusiasm. Would you say that's kind of in your deal as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. What does your buyer consultation, kind of look like? When you sit down, because I'm assuming you sit down with your clients and talk to them. What are you guys doing?
So one of the first things, I want to make sure that when I meet with a new buyer that they are ready to go. I don't want to waste their time, because in this market, and it's shifted a little bit, but when you go out and look at a home, I want them to be able to buy it. I don't want them to, go out, see a home they fall in love with, and then by the time they get ready to buy it, it's already gone. And that happens. We've all seen it. So I think one of the key things that we do at the first meeting is I want to make sure that they've gone through lending. And send them over to you. They can talk to a lender, look at the programs that are available. If they're first-time buyers, a lot of times we're talking about grants that they can do. So just want to make sure that they're set up for success from that very, very first meeting.
So why is that important? Like, why? I mean, guys, I get it, man. I'm the last person I would want to talk to if I was starting my process to look to buy a home. I want to go find the home. That's the fun part. Right? So I understand, but why, from your perspective, why is it important for the clients to start talking to me before they actually go out and find homes?
Well, I mean, just the key thing is they can't write an offer. So they're going to, we're going to go see all these homes. I'm basically then a tour guide, just showing them homes that they can't buy. So I don't want to set them up for failure. I want to make sure that we are looking at the right homes at the right price point. And I find a lot of times they find that they can buy a little bit more than they thought they could.
100%.
So I want to make sure that they're set up for success.
They don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Right? So they feel, right? And we're in the feel and experience business. We want to make sure that you feel great about the experience you're having. But you guys may feel like you're only going to buy this much of a home. But in reality, you don't know all the options that are available to you. And you may find that, wow, an extra $20,000 really isn't that big of a deal when it comes to the financing side. And then when Deana shows you what that extra $20,000 buys you in the right school district or the particular type of neighborhood you're looking for, or the extra bedroom, you're like, holy crap, this is what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
That's why it's important to make sure that you understand your options, your numbers, and then we have the proper loan structure dialed in for you up front. And then that way you get with Deana, and then you go to your next phase of all your consultations. So tell me then, after the lending side, kind of where do you go with that conversation and everything?
So once we're done with that, and they've decided what kind of financing is best for them, my goal then is to get them. I really listen very carefully to what they want. What's most important to them? That's really kind of the first thing. Is it location? Is it a school? Is it what are your needs? Is it being close to the airport for travel?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep,
So
yep.
then we just have to kind of go out from there and find out what that perfect home to them looks like. And so a lot of times I'll set them up on an auto email, which comes out of the listing system, which sends them homes that match their criteria. They can tell me, do they want a pool, 3 bedrooms, a garage, anything they want. And oftentimes I find I have a lot of kind of niche buyers who are looking for something very specific. So sometimes it'll be me pulling up the listings, going through all the photographs,
Right, yep.
making sure there's not, some odd, floor placement or doorways wide enough for a wheelchair or whatever, and just making sure that home matches with what they're looking for.
Well, and I think that's the cool piece and why that consultation is so important in the way that you do it, because you're trying to dive into, all right, what are the specifics, the must-haves,
Yes.
right? So if you're talking about oversized doors for wheelchairs, or the master down and the kids' bedrooms up. I mean, you're really trying to get into the specifics with that client, because then that allows you to put homes that meet that criteria in front of them, so they're not wasting their time going to Zillow, right, and looking at all of these properties that don't exist or that aren't going to match really what they want.
Right.
You're giving them exactly what they want. Okay, so there's 50 properties out there on the market. You know what? 47 of them don't match what you want.
Right.
These are the 3 that you need to be looking at, and that's why I really do feel it's important to have those consultations.
Oh, I do too. And one thing, and one of my clients, Carol, if you're listening, this is you. I'm not afraid to tell my clients no. If they send me a house and I go through it, and a lot of times it'll be down to me looking at the pictures. Or a client will tell me one thing, and if the home they send doesn't match, I tell them, no, this is not the home for you.
Yep.
Here's why.
Here's why.
Here's
Right,
why.
exactly.
Here's why I don't think it will meet what you've told me your goals are.
Right.
And so we don't go see it.
Right. You told me what you wanted. I'm telling you no because of that.
Right.
Did something change?
Yes.
Right? Hey guys, we can go, but did something change with your must-haves? Right? Because this one doesn't have it.
Yes.
Right? Tell me what's going on.
Right.
And sometimes it, you find out, right, that things did change.
Right, and then and my clients, I think, really appreciate it because their times are busy too. And it can be challenging looking for a home. Yes, it's fun, but sometimes if it drags out, it becomes a little less fun, maybe. So I want to make it very effective, very purposeful. If we're looking at a home, I want to know that it's a contender for you.
What do you think are some of the biggest things that buyers either are looking for now, or that potentially buyers that are listening should be looking for, or asking you as their professional?
So as far as like what they're looking for in a home, or what they should do?
Maybe what they're looking for in a home first off. Let's start with that.
Well, I think we got to really drill it down to what your goals are.
Okay.
Because a perfect home for buyer A may not be the perfect home for buyer B. So that's going to really vary, I think, buyer to buyer.
Okay.
I have some people that just want a home in a fun area. They don't care what the schools are. Some people, that's number one with a lot of buyers, is what is the school district for it. So we want to make
school
sure.
District,
The school district is always a really big thing. So.
Yeah, you deal with investors though too.
I do deal with investors.
Yeah, and so they obviously will have different requirements probably than those that are actually going to be occupying.
They do,
property.
and the nice thing is being able to consult with investors on, is it a good area? Is it a good home? Are you going to be able to recoup the investment? Is this a home that buyers are going to want?
Right.
So it's nice to work with investors when I also work more on just the regular client side.
Gotcha.
Because I know what people are looking for, so it works out well.
Now, what would be some things that you would think that a potential buyer should ask or look to when they're evaluating the agent that they're going to be choosing to work with? Like, probably part of your pitch as to why they should be working with you, but what would you think that they need to be asking?
Well, Ask them, ask them how they communicate is one thing. There are actually some agents, and this really kind of cracks me up. I'll call an agent to ask a question, and it'll tell me they don't work outside of the 9 to 5 hours, and they don't work on weekends, which more power to them. I don't know how that happens in real estate.
Sure.
But, ask them, when they work, how they work, how they communicate. And I have different clients that have different communication styles as well. So they might prefer that I text them or call them or email them. So make sure that you kind of mesh there. I think that you guys
I think the
have
adaptability is important, right?
Absolutely. I think that's a really good starting point for sure. It doesn't hurt. You can always, ask people that they've worked with. I'm happy to give out referrals from my past clients.
Yeah, I think the big thing, you hit the nail on the head on that one, is really how are you willing to work with me, right? Because there is no one size fits all.
No, there's not.
Approach to communication and to real estate and mortgages. You got to really know that they are willing to adapt to you as the client and communicate with you the way that you like to be communicated with, work in the time frame, right, that you want to work, because some may only want to buy a home, or somebody come to you and say, I'm looking to buy a home in 8 months, and there are people that don't want that. They want the here and now, right? And they don't want that long nurturing process of trying to help somebody over an 8-month period. So you got to kind of really, I guess I'd advise you to really talk to that agent and really make sure that they will do those types of things for you. Experience, guys, look, there's a lot of people that have 22 years experience, and ultimately at the end of the day, aren't going to be the best fit for you, because they may rest more on the experience and less on the work ethic, the hustle, the grind, as we may call that. And they have a one-size-fits-all type approach where, somebody that really is about you and being intentional with that individual, that personal client, can adapt and provide a better experience. So don't just go off of experience only. So
we see that everywhere.
What do you see with 2019? What's the market look like? Because guess tell the audience where you serve, the markets that you serve.
So I'm based out of the mid-cities, but I literally work everywhere. I tend to do a lot of work in the mid-cities, but I've worked as far west as Granbury, and I've gone all the way over to McKinney and even out east of that. So I've really covered everywhere. But I do tend to do a lot of work, I think, as we all do, probably closer to where we kind of live at. One thing I'm excited about with the market, I know we had this really crazy seller's market that most people have been very aware of.
Yep.
And everybody, I think the main comment I got was, it's a great time to be a realtor. Well, it was really a crazy time to be a realtor.
Right.
It could be very, very challenging to find, especially a buyer, a good home at a good price. We were seeing people in the Bedford area paying $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over the contract price, just to get into a home. So things have stabilized a little bit, which it's great. It's not quite the seller's market that was. Stuff's still moving. Good homes are moving well, but it's much easier for a buyer, I think, to get into a good home now.
Yeah, guys, and I'll tell you, we hear about price appreciation or price depreciation. And I'm going to tell you, we're not in a price depreciating market. We're not seeing depreciation at all. What we've really seen coming out of what we call these seller markets is this. Let's say the home was worth $250,000, okay? The sellers may want to price it at, call it $270,000, right? Because in a seller's market, that means there's less inventory, and you have a whole lot of buyers trying to buy that one property. And so they feel, right, that the buyer will end up bringing that extra $20,000 in cash, which we did see a lot of. The buyer, there's only so many homes. The buyer has to be in the school district. This is the perfect house for them. So they'll pay that extra $20,000 because maybe the house only appraised for $250,000, okay? That you can still buy the home at $270,000. You just got to bring in the extra $20,000 to get us as a lending standpoint at right sized at that $250,000. So as we move out of a seller's market kind of into that buyer's market, which just means there's more inventory for the buyers to choose from, this isn't depreciation when the house goes from 270 to 250. This is just sellers getting realistic with what their true value of that home is. And so we go from 270 to 250. Now we're just right sized. The home is worth 250. It's always been worth 250.
Right.
And so now buyers are buying it at 250. They may buy it at 245, 248, depending on the market and how the negotiations are going. But that 270 to 250, guys, is not depreciation.
No, not at all. No.
It's just a seller right-sizing the price based on the current market position.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. And I think one thing that I'm appreciative of is when it became such a crazy seller's market, there were a lot of new people coming into real estate and telling sellers they could price their house really wherever they wanted to and they were going to get it.
Sure.
But we did have the appraisal problem, and so we had to work with that and make sure that we were offering a fair price that would appraise for.
Yep.
And so that it's nice to see some of that stuff kind of stabilize.
Yeah, I mean, as a seller, I always knew my house was worth more than the appraiser said.
Well, yes, of course.
So I always wanted to price it as high as I could. I get it. But it's kind of a different market right now, and is that a good thing for what you're seeing?
I think it's a great thing.
Okay.
It really is. It's really a great thing because it's just it's easier.
Yeah.
It's especially for clients to find a home. It's just not.
Yeah, and we have a lot of clients that are out there looking for homes. We have a lot of companies that continue to move here.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Right.
it's a great state. It's a great city. DFW is a great metroplex. I mean, we have opportunity, and that's what people want. And so I think that's why it's a win-win always for sellers and buyers. People talk about interest rates and the rising of the interest rates and how that's going to impact people buying homes. Been doing this for 22 years, guys. Okay?
We remember what interest rates used to be.
I've seen the rise and falls and rises of interest rates, and I can assure you, people always still bought homes.
Well, here's
They
the thing.
always were buying homes. Doesn't matter what the interest rate is. Now, it may change how much they buy because,
Right.
the interest rate does impact their payment availability,
Yes.
right? I mean, how much money do they have available to pay for that house? So as interest rates rise, the payments will kind of trend up as well, which then starts leveling out, right? The price of homes and how they're sold a bit, because people aren't wanting to pay that much monthly for that house that they're willing to pay for when the interest rates are at 3.5. Now when they're at 4.5, or when they go to 5.5, people are still buying.
When it's still a great time, and I'm glad you brought that up because I mean a lot of buyers now will say, well, we're going to wait till interest rates go down again.
Look, we don't want them to. You know
No,
why?
it's not healthy.
It's not going to be healthy.
No.
It's going to have to be a global concern. Something in our markets is going to have to really impact us, and it's not going to be in a
Right.
positive way for interest rates to start doing this again. Yes, we see little cycles, right? So we've seen over in 2018, interest rates trended up. They were doing this. But then we hit November of 2018. And so from November of 2018 really to about the end of the year, the interest rates actually started to come down a bit from what we saw over the whole course of the year. And it's all put on like what's happening on a global stage, right? The concerns and the trade talks and tariffs with China and the tension that's caused there. And what happens, guys, is when there's that kind of concern and tension, money, right, will come out of the stock market, out of the markets, right, and they'll go into the safe haven of bonds, right, of bonds, right, well, which is the real estate sector of the bond market, which is what then impacts long-term mortgage rates. So as the bonds, right, are going up, right, the bond prices are going up, interest rates start to come down, okay, and that's what we saw really from November to December, all right. Now, as these things start to shift, and we start to see the tariffs and trade talks, get fixed. We start to see the government, get back to working order, and what happens there. That's going to put more momentum back into the stock markets. And as that money pulls out of the bond market, goes into the stock market, guess what? Bond market's going to start going down, right?
Right.
And interest rates are going to start
Up.
going up. And that's going to be okay, because then it's not like we're going to see a full point increase overnight. So, but what it means is in our stock markets, we're more healthy in our financial position. Our 401ks are stronger if you're in that world. Typically, what that means also is companies are making more money. They're passing it along to their employee base, and those employees become more confident and secure in their job,
Yes.
which then allows them to go spend money.
Right.
And that's how this whole cycle starts to work. So for interest rates to start tanking and going back down
We
into
don't want that to
the
happen.
threes, we're going to have some global concerns.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and interest rates are still great. I mean,
Oh my God.
you and I are old enough to remember what interest rates were when they
Yeah.
were double-digit interest
Yeah,
rates,
I mean,
and
you
people
got
were
12
still
and
buying
18%.
them.
People are still buying
They
homes.
were crazy. So even at this point,
Which, guys, we're still in the force. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, I still
Really?
encourage buyers. This is still a great time, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. There isn't depreciation on property like you were mentioning. Property is still appreciating. Why throw away money on rent if you can afford, to buy real estate?
Well,
at
let's
this rent?
put this into perspective, okay? People are concerned about interest rates. If you're renting, guess what your interest rate is? 100%. Okay?
Yes.
Your rent is 100% interest. So if we get you 4.5 and you want 4, really?
A little
Come
better.
on, man.
Just a little better.
Just think about this. You're paying 100% rent. Yes, you could have gotten 4, but you're going to get 4.5. It's still better than 100%.
Yes.
Right?
Amen.
And then maybe you get 5. It's still better. I
Right.
had somebody that said, okay, we put them on a grant program. The state offers amazing programs to be able to buy a home, and they will pay for your down payment and closing costs in
Yeah,
some cases.
they're
right?
amazing.
Where
Bob
you
has
could-
done more
where you
grants for my clients than probably not.
Yeah, where you could buy a home for no money out of pocket.
And they're not just first-time home buyers.
No, they're not first-time home buyers, and we can kind of get into that. But here's my point with the rate: the rate was going to be higher because the state will. Those are different rates for those programs than there are for the just the people that are going to be bringing their own money, right? The open market, because I can negotiate and best X those all day long. But these are set. So if you want $21,000 from the state, here's your interest rate. But again, it was like I was talking to a client. I'm like, you understand, you're paying 100% and you're renting.
Right.
Yes, you may pay 5.5 for this grant particular loan, but guess what? You're buying a home for no money out of pocket. It's covering your down payment and your closing cost. You're paying 5.5, not 100%, and you get all the upside, right? Because here's the deal.
Yes, everything.
Okay, here's the deal. 2 things. When you make a payment, this is called forced savings, okay? When you make a payment, a portion of your money will go to the principal balance, okay? Which means you owe this much. The more payments you make, the lower that principal balance goes. When you rent, it's a flat line. You get no benefit from that.
Right.
The other thing is appreciation, right?
Right.
So when you
And,
buy the house,
and tax advantages.
well, sure.
advantages all over the
we get
place.
into 3 and 4 and 5 reasons, but when you also own the home, as you're paying down, you get this forced savings piece, and then you get the appreciate. I'm really doing a bad job with this. You get the appreciate.
He listened to too much disco music before we got
It's
started.
disco and the coffee.
He's dancing.
You get the appreciation that happens, right? I mean, it's mind blowing that if you're out there renting, you're not taking the step to call Deana to explore the options. Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
And probably get the home you want in the area you want,
For not much more than you're paying in rent.
sometimes less.
Sometimes less. Boom. I mean, guys, come on.
I was looking for a home yesterday for a client in West Fort Worth, and one of the homes happened to pop up for rent in that area, and it was $4,000 a month. You can buy a nice house for $4,000 a month.
Absolutely over there. You absolutely can. So what else is going to happen in 2019? I mean, or is there? I mean, we hear disruption, we hear all these kind of things with technology. I mean, real estate's kind of like belly to belly. I mean, it's just like, it could be some old school tactics that just really help people find homes. But are you seeing any things like technology that is helping you either engage with your clients better, serve them through finding homes better? I mean, what's out there that maybe could I don't know, help them understand your level of.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up because and Bob and I did not talk about this before the show came on.
We didn't really talk about a whole lot.
So
we try to save it for the show.
So I know everybody out there likes to look at Zillow. They like to look at Trulia. All the agents, we tell you, please don't look there. Everybody does, even agents do. I'll be real honest. But the big problem there is misinformation. I had actually a client send me a home yesterday she found on Zillow, and I had to tell her it was under contract and had been for quite a while. So out of date, not accurate. The pricing's wrong, just a million reasons why it's not accurate. So Bob introduced me recently to an app called Home Scout, which I've been sharing with clients. And if you would like for me to send you Home Scout, please let me know. I'm happy to share this app with you.
Yeah, comment in the links below.
And I'll send you the link. What's amazing about Home Scout is it actually links to the listing system that agents use. So the information you see in it is actual, live, honest to God, accurate, up-to-date information that we see. And I can share this app with you. You can be driving around. You can see a home. You want to find out more about it. You put in the address, and it pulls it up.
Yep.
And it's great. Or if you're looking at Home Scout and you see a home that you like, you can share it with me, and I can take a look at it.
Yep.
So it's just it's what Zillow and Trulia want to grow up to be, but they never will be.
Well, the reason they can't is we still control as the agents the MLS, right? Because guys, if you don't know this, you need to know it. When an agent goes in and enters a home, right, into the MLS, they don't have to enter it to the public sites like Zillow, Trulia, realtor.com, right? Those public sites don't have to get that data. And a lot of times it's because the seller doesn't want their home on public sites. They just want it within the real estate community, right? That's the MLS. And so when you look at those sites, you're only maybe getting, I don't know, 60%, 70% of the homes that are really available. And so utilizing what Deana said, the app will give you 100% access to the MLS data, just like an agent does. Number two, the reason why Zillow, Realtor.com truly exists is to steal your data and sell it to a bunch of people because that's how they make money.
Yes.
Okay?
There's a reason it's free. Right.
They make money by stealing your data. And so that app is 100% private and secure, so there's no reselling of your data. Okay, that's another reason why you want to use it and to shop with it. So comment if you want on the bottom, and she can text you a private link to download it. And the third reason is it's an app.
It's so easy.
Right, you're not having to log onto your computer and do all those kind of things to look at stuff. You could just be on your phone, click it up, put in the zip codes you want, and see all the homes that are available, all the homes that are going to be open. If you like a house favorite, bam, she'll get right back to you.
Right, and y'all know you do it. I get these calls and texts, from clients in the past saying, "Hey, I just drove by a house. What, can you tell me all about it?" So I love to hear from you. Please call me. Please text me. But it's nice that if you can't get in touch with me, you can just enter the information into Home Scout, and it'll tell you everything you want to know about the house. You will see exactly what I see.
Mm-hmm. So let's say the buyer's ready to go look at homes. How many homes do you typically find a buyer will look at before they want to make an offer?
I would say typically on average, probably anywhere between, 5 and 10.
That's good.
It really doesn't take a lot if we've really had a good consultation.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
And I know what you're looking for, and I know the area you're looking for. I've had clients that it's taken longer. I've had clients that have looked at one house, and they knew that was the house for them too.
Yep.
But, usually it usually really doesn't take that long.
So once they find that house, what do you advise them on how long they should take before they actually make an offer on the home?
Well, and that goes back to the pre-consultation, and this is one of the reasons I make sure that they have, spoken with Bob, make sure that they're approved and ready to buy. If we find that house and they like it, I tell them we're submitting an offer that day. And it doesn't matter if the home's been on the market 1 day or 100 days. I've seen it happen both times. You don't know the house that you looked at today, someone else may have looked at yesterday. I saw that, and it's very, very true.
Yep.
Because I've had a client make an offer on it. They waited a couple days to make an offer on a house that had been on the market for 3 or 4 months, and someone else did too. So if you find that house, put the offer in.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Well, and there's also something called when you get the offer accepted. They're like, "Oh my God, I got the offer accepted. Oh my God, I'm committed."
Yes.
Okay.
Little panic.
Yeah, a little panic. But here's the beauty. there's something called an option fee,
Yes.
right?
Option period's amazing.
Explain that to them.
Oh yes. So I've actually had people buy homes under option sight unseen, especially when we were in the crazy selling market. So Texas is kind of unique that we offer what's called an option period. So when you put a home under contract, you
Yep.
offer a little extra money to the seller to buy what's called an option period. And that money is generally credited back to you at close, although you can use that as a strategic
Sure.
piece if you're in a multiple offer situation. But typically that money, it's usually $100, usually refunded back to you. So what it really is giving you is the unrestricted right to cancel the contract for any reason during that period.
Yep.
Typically 7 days right now is what we're seeing.
Yep.
Can be a little less, can be a little longer. That's usually when you go in, you do your inspections. If there's any concerns with roofing or foundation, you get all that checked out. But if something happened, you could change your mind. You could decide you don't like the color of the house, you find a better
Exactly.
house.
It's security,
it
guys.
is the unrestricted right to cancel.
Yep.
So if you do cancel, you do lose that option fee that you paid to the seller. But sometimes if you're worried about, finding that house, or if you're an out-of-state buyer and you would just want to get it under contract, it's a nice little option that we have here in Texas.
But an option fee is what usually?
It's usually $100.
Right, $100. Now, don't get me wrong, $100 is $100, right?
Right.
But it's $100 to be able to secure the property, know that it's yours if you want it, but have the right to back out for any reason through that period.
Right.
Right? 3
Yes.
days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is that you guys negotiate, you have that right. And that, I think, is the point with when you guys are out there and you find it, or you think you found
Write
it,
the offer.
lock it down. Lock it
Don't
down.
wait.
Use the option to confirm
Yes.
that this is actually the absolute right one.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, and it's a great period, and we can even extend that option period. I know a lot of people worry about getting everything done they want to get done as far as inspections. I know we all remembered the rain that we had this summer.
Yeah.
I actually had a house that was under option for 21 days while we were waiting to get a roof inspection because it wasn't safe for the roofer to get up there. So.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to, I think one of the reasons that works is if I'm a buyer's agent or a listing agent, it's one of my responsibilities to my clients is to develop rapport with the agent on the other side. From the very beginning, I call the other agent, introduce them, so that we have a good working relationship. If we have a good working relationship, it makes the transaction go much smoother for the clients.
That's a great point. I mean, and I know that there's competition, out there, but you do such a great job of you do. I mean, of getting the other agent, empathy, basically getting the other agent on the same side of the table with you, because it's not a negotiation. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is about helping people realize their dreams.
Right.
What do we need to do to help other people get that done? And yeah, there could be some negotiation that goes on, but the closer we are, the better we can help them accomplish their goal, which is you guys.
Yes.
So what's up for 2019? What personally, professionally, where are you headed? What are you doing? How many vacations you taking? You're going to be
Well, I just got back from vacation. I have twins in college, so there may not be another vacation this year. We'll see. So Deana needs to sell a lot of homes with the twins in college, so give me a call.
Hey, you have more time.
Yeah. Right.
So how would they give you a call?
So you can call me either 817-235-6801. Text me as well at that number. Or you can email me at deana@deanawoods.com. So it's DEANA at DEANAWOODS.com. Or find me on Facebook.
Deana Woods on Facebook?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. So simple.
I'm easy.
Yeah. But at least you have a name that is good, like Deana Woods. I mean, like mine's Bob Johnson.
But I know.
And that's why I had to go to BobMortgage.
But everybody
Right.
calls me Deana, and I promise if you call me Deana, I won't get offended. I'm very used to it.
But it is Deana.
It is Deana.
So 2 kids, obviously college, right? You have a lot of goals.
Yes.
A lot of things that you're wanting to accomplish this year, I know.
Yes.
Scott just had a birthday today. Right? You're going to celebrate that.
See, and I love my job so much that on my husband's birthday, I'm hanging out with Bob.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
That's good.
We'll have to take you out, Scott. Make up for it. What else? Anything else going on?
Just working.
Okay.
But really.
Yeah, that's all we're doing.
I mean, living the dream. Like it really is good. I've I've never been in a position that I love this much. Yes, it is hard work and crazy hours, but
Yep.
it's just it's a great fit for my world.
Well, guys, I want you to know I trust her. I like her. I know her. I trust her. That's part of what you guys got to evaluate in selecting a partner to work with, a true partner that's going to take the time to understand you. And I know, and I can tell you 100%, Deana will absolutely do that for you. So if you're out there looking to buy a house, sell a house, at least give her a phone call, chat with her, and I promise you she'll take the time to find out if she's the right fit for you and be honest with you as if she is or she isn't. So I would definitely encourage you to give her a phone call. I really appreciate everybody for taking the time to listen, to give us your eyes and your ears for this last hour. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you driving all the way over from the mid-cities to Addison to the home of Bob Mortgage, Team Bob Mortgage here. But I really do appreciate it, guys. You guys have an amazing day, and more importantly, make somebody's day even better. Take care.
Thank you.
Boom. All right, we're out of here.